Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. How are you all? I hope you all are doing very well with the grace of Almighty Allah. So welcome to the Heather Tech, and today we are going to discuss about VLAN, what is VLAN and how we can create the VLAN in a simpler method, and how we can make the how we can configure the VLAN using a VTP. See, if you are going to create the VLAN without a VTP, so you need to create the VLAN on each switch. Okay, so maybe you are a little bit confused and you are wondering what is VLAN. So basically the VLAN stand for Virtual Local Area Network. What is it? Virtual Local Area Network. So what is the point of the VLAN? Why we need the VLAN? The point of the VLAN is the VLAN enable you to transform one physical local area network into a multiple isolated logical local area network. Did you get me? So it means here we have one physical local area network, but we will divide into a multiple logical local area network, like VLAN 10. This will be a different network, VLAN 20 another network, VLAN 30 another local area network, but these are all are the virtual local area network. It is same like you have a hard disk, okay, and you partition the hard disk into a different drive, C, D and E drive. So but physically your hard disk is same as a one physical device, but you logically divided into a different partition. The same way you are dividing your physical switch, one physical switch, into a different virtual LAN. Okay, so the purpose here by using a simpler method creating and configuring a VLAN. So you need to create the VLANs like VLAN 10, 20, 30 on each switch here, here and here, in all three switches. If the number of switches will increase, so it means you need more administrative effort required to configure the VLANs on all the switches, if the switches increase to 50, 60 or more. Okay, so the point here is why we are using a VTP. So you just need to configure the VLAN on this switch or any one of the switch, so it will transport automatically to the other switch by using a VTP method. Okay, now we can start our VLAN. So these are the VLANs: VLAN 10 name IT, VLAN 20 HR, VLAN 30 engineering by using a VTP. Okay, so we will start from here. So how to create the VLANs and how this VLAN information will be transported automatically to the other switches, I will show you today. And just let me go to the enable configure terminal. Now here you can create, first of all, if you are going to create the VLAN, so you should remember, so the switch can be, there are two VTP mode, sorry, three VTP mode, but basically we will use a two VTP mode, VTP mode server and VTP mode client. So in the server mode you can create the VLAN, you can delete the VLAN, you can edit the VLAN, but you cannot in the client mode. I will show you how. In the client mode you cannot create VLAN and you cannot delete the VLAN and you cannot modify the VLAN in a client mode, VTP mode client. Okay, so now let me make this switch I will make it as a server, and these two switches I will make it as a VTP mode client. Okay, so let me start the configuration VTP mode. Okay, you can see here VTP mode. So you have client and server. So transparent, it is out of today's discussion, so we will discuss in some other time why we need a transparent mode. So VTP mode client or VTP mode server. As I told you, server we can create the VLANs, we can delete, we can modify the VLANs, but we can, in the client mode, we cannot delete, modify and create the VLANs. Okay, now let's start. So we can say VTP mode server. Okay, so if we configure device mode already server, yes, even if you will not configure make it as a server, so automatically it is in a server mode, but but the rest of the switches, the client, you have to configure manually as a VTP mode client. Okay, so the second thing is VTP mode VTP domain name. Okay, so the domain name I will say header, so it should be same header.com or header, or no issue, so you can say header, VTP mode header. Okay, and now VTP password I will say CCNA. Okay, so CCNA or anything you can write it, so VTP password is CCNA. So we have configured, I will just show you. Now let me configure the VLAN, then I will show you. So now you can VLAN 10 name IT VLAN 20 name HR VLAN 30 name engineering. Okay, so you can see here, so we have created show VLAN brief. If you will see here, you can see we have created 3 VLAN 10, 20 and 30. So we have created these 3 VLAN. Okay, so now if you will go and see here, so you will not find any VLAN information here until and unless you can see here enable show VLAN brief. You can see here we don't have any VLAN information. So VLAN 1 is the default one, so we do, this VLAN information is not transported there. So why it is not transported? Because we also need to just configure, we need to just configure 3 things: VTP mode server, and we need to also configure VTP domain name and VTP password. So VTP domain name and VTP password should be same in these 2 switches as well. Okay, so then this VLAN information will be transmitted automatically to the other switches, and the link between the switch should be trunk. So the link between the switch should be trunk. So I will make FA01 or FA04 as a trunk, no issue. So I will make configure terminal interface fast Ethernet 0/4 switchport mode trunk, switchport mode trunk. Okay, so this one I have created as a trunk link. Now the second thing is, what I need to do is exit. The second thing is, what we need to do, we need to configure 3 things, as I told you: VTP mode client. Okay, so client VTP mode. Now you can see I set the VTP mode as a client. Okay, now the second thing is the VTP domain name. What is the domain name? Header, HAIDER, header. Okay, it should be same header. Okay, domain name header, and VTP password CCNA. Okay, so now we have created the VTP domain name header and VTP password is CCNA. Okay, so now we can go to the other switch. Meantime, and show VLAN, show VTP status, show VTP status. You can see here now the VTP mode is client and VTP domain name is header and the password is same CCNA as we have done. So show VLAN brief. If we will see show VLAN brief, you can see those VLAN information. I did not create the VLAN on this switch. Did you observe this thing? So I only created the VLAN, or I only configured the VLAN on this switch 1. See my mouse cursor? I just configure the VLAN here. You can see it is automatically transmitted to this switch. You can see here, just I configure the VTP mode server, VTP domain name and VTP password. So if you have a more number of switches and the administrative necessity to manage the VLANs to ease some of the VLAN and trunk configuration. So you can see this VLAN information will be automatically, if you have more number of switches, this VLAN information will be transported to all 50 switches. Okay. Now what we can do, this switch as well, we just need to create, okay, FA02, I need to make it FA02 as a trunk. Let me make the trunk this switch. On this switch, configure terminal, interface, fast Ethernet 0/2, switch port mode, trunk. Okay, so the link between the switch should be trunk. The link between these two switches and this switch should be trunk, and this link should also be trunk. I will show you later on. And let me, okay, enable, configure terminal, and then what we need to do, we need to set three things. Okay, VTP mode, VTP, sorry, 1 minute, VTP mode client. Okay, so again this is client, CLIENT, client. VTP domain name is header. Okay, so VTP password, what is the password? CCNA. Okay, so you can see we have done this configuration. We also need to make FA03 as a trunk, so we will make it later on. Just for this activity purpose, you can also see show VTP password, sorry, show VTP password is CCNA, show VLAN, show VTP status. You can see here VTP status is this one, and client and mode is client, and show VLAN brief. So we will see show VLAN brief. You can see this VLAN 10, 20, 30 automatically transmitted to this switch as well. So now we configure the VLANs, and what is the next thing is we need to assign these port to a different VLAN. Okay, so this PC, we can say the can be the part of VLAN 10, this can be the part of VLAN 20, so on and so forth, and this can be the part of PC VLAN, you can say VLAN, okay, VLAN 10, suppose. Okay, we will say this is the part of VLAN 10, and this can be the part of VLAN 20. So how you can assign some port to the, how you can assign the port VLAN, we can say 30. Okay, no issue. So this is VLAN 10, this is 20 and 30. So these, how we can assign FA03 to VLAN 30, sorry, VLAN 10. So how you can go for the configure terminal, interface, fast Ethernet 0/3. Okay, switch port mode access, and switch port access VLAN 10. Now this port FA03 is the part of VLAN 10. Okay, on this switch we have FA01 and FA02. So configure terminal, interface, fast Ethernet. Okay, so this is our FA01, you can see here FA01, interface, fast Ethernet 0/1, switch port mode access. So this is our access port, and it is the part of switch port access VLAN. What is the VLAN? VLAN 20. Okay, now FA02, switch port mode access, and switch port access VLAN. What is this VLAN? Okay, VLAN 30. Okay, so now you have configured and assign the port to each VLAN. You can see here, so we assign FA01 to VLAN 10, VLAN 20, FA01, and FA02 we assign to VLAN 30, the port. So this is the way you can configure the VLAN by using VTP, and you can assign the port to the VLANs. Okay, and we also have seen how to configure the trunk link. The link between the switches must be a trunk. So if it will be a trunk, then the VLAN information will be transmitted from one switch to another switch. I hope this video will be informative for you. Please like and subscribe our video and subscribe our channel as well. Thank you so much for your time.